Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I want to be giving my thoughts on Digimon Ghost Game episodes 36 and 37. So, episode 36 opens with an intriguing little opening. I do like the openings of these episodes where it's just like, alright, here's sort of our ghost story for the episode, and then we get into it. This one opens up with just a building sinking into the ground, and then reappearing. And that's all we get. That's all we know. We didn't even get a hint at the Digimon in this. It's just building's gone, building's back. And then we cut to our main characters. They're going to explore this cave because on their ghost story forum that we've seen throughout the show at certain points, there's talk about how stuff from the city is sinking into this cave, which kind of seemed outside of the city. So I guess it just goes underneath it, but it thinking back to that now, it seems a bit odd. And they're not alone. They have a bunch of people that came from, they're doing an offline meetup of people on that forum that Ruri knows, which is neat. I don't know if these characters will ever appear again. Also, I don't think that forum even has a name. But I do like that they're sort of introducing characters from that, because they do go to it a lot to look up sort of these mysteries. Like, the one that pops to mind right away is Splashmon, I believe. The rumor of if you hear 3 water drops, then you're gonna die or whatever, came from that forum. So it's cool that they're keeping that around and they're bringing in characters that also use that forum here. It's just 4 random characters. One guy who I forget exactly what he said his profession was or what he used to do, but he has experience exploring the cave, so he's helping everybody. We've got just another guy, and then 2 seems to be teenage girls, and then we have our main cast too. And so they go into the cave, and slowly everybody is sort of getting picked off. Starts with one of the dudes that came with them, and then the guy that knew how to travel through caves and stuff, and then eventually the 2 other girls. They all get taken, and all these people are being turned into stone statues. Not quite the same as the I don't remember what his name is, the devil looking Digimon that was turning people into stone. These ones look more like they're made out of clay. And so our horror element for this is sort of everybody getting separated in this cave and everybody getting picked off. And it's pretty good. I think when it comes to sort of this type of trapped in a building sort of while there's a monster lurking about, I do think the I can't remember any of the Digimon's names. The little when they were out in the snowy place and they were all getting really cold. I don't remember what his name is. But I think that episode did the sort of, we're trapped in this place, something's lurking about, we gotta try and not get taken. I think it did that episode did it better than this one, but it wasn't bad here. They introduced, again, all those characters so we can have more people get picked off. So eventually we see that our Digimon of the episode is Gigasmon from Digimon Frontier. I haven't watched Frontier in a long, long time, and I don't remember actually particularly liking his design, but in this episode, I kind of like it. Maybe it's just as time has gone on, my tastes have changed, but he looks cool. And so he can just sort of swim through the ground almost. He'll sink into the ground and he'll just pop out somewhere else. And so he's reaching hands out of the ground, pulling people in. And eventually we get to the depths of this cave, and we just see a huge open area with a bunch of people that have been turned into statues. And eventually we get sort of, at the end of the episode, we get Gigasmon's motivation here. And it's another episode like the Mummymon episode, where Digimon end up on Earth, misunderstand something, and then do bad things while they have good intentions. So Gigasmon saw a movie preview for a disaster movie, where it's oh, the world's going to end coming July 29th or whatever. and he thought the world was really going to end. So he has made this giant, like, tomb for humanity, and he's just grabbing people, turning them into stone, and like, all right, everybody's going to die horribly. Here's your grave. And it's silly, but it works. I kind of like the Digimon are misunderstood angle of this show quite a bit. Like, they're coming into this world where, like, he's even crying about how humans don't turn back into Digi-Eggs when they die. They're just gone. And so he's actually sad about that. There's a moment where we see him crying. So I like that. I like how it was resolved. I don't think, again, this is one of the episodes where he's doing bad things, but they're not actually that bad. Like, some Digimon have done things that are far worse than him and gotten off scot-free, whereas Gigasmon just took people, turned them into stone. It's like, all right, I'll make them better. They're back, and it's no problem. Again, like Mummymon. But before then, we get the actual fight. And I got one issue with this fight, and that is, we've got all these statues of everybody around in this, like, mausoleum. Mausoleum? Is that right? In this, like, tomb that Gigasmon has made for humanity. And there's a couple spots where, during the battle, like, debris is flying, and it's hitting the statues. And so Hero's like, we have to stay away from them, or else they'll get destroyed. At no point do they use the Digivice to go into, like, the little digital area. I don't know why. That seems like a huge oversight. Like, why didn't you just go into the digital area like you usually do? Every episode we do this. Not this episode for some reason. So, aside from that, though, the fight in this was really cool. I like how Gigasmon fights, right? He sinks into the ground, and, like, he hears people move, and he comes up, and he just, like, attacks. And it's really well done, and the animation for the fight was actually really good in a lot of spots. And the way they sort of defeat him was also pretty good. We get Gamamon evolving into Cannon Weissmon, who can fly, so he's not making any sound on the ground where Gigasmon can just attack him. And so he purposefully, like, flaps his wings to create, like, a wave of a gust, which Gigasmon hears and then attacks, but that was done purposefully, so he was expecting that. So I think that was cool. I think the fight was really good. I think the animation was really good during this fight. A lot of Digimon well, not a lot, like, quite a few Digimon have come back, and I do hope that Gigasmon comes back at some point, because I think he's, like, I really, really liked him this episode. I liked how he moves around, I like how he fights, and I think he could be interesting in a future episode if he comes back. But I don't know if he will. So that's episode 36. It was pretty good. Episode 37, again, opens up with just a tease of what our horror of the episode is going to be, and it starts with, like, two dudes in a dump truck just pouring trash off this cliff, and they've clearly been doing this for a while, because the trash is piled up at the bottom, and they're just dumping trash onto more trash. And then out of that trash comes skeletons moving, and that's sort of our tease for this. Kyoshiro is here in this town doing some sort of I forget exactly what he's doing, but he's smart with computers and stuff. He was like programming, like, some sort of scheduling thing. I forget. It's not really important, but that's why Ruri and Hiro have come. They are here to deliver donuts to Kyoshiro, and Ruri takes off because, like, the train, or not the train, the, like, bus that they're waiting for is late, and she just has Angoromon fly her to the inn that they're going to stay at. Hiro hangs out with Gamamon, and eventually they get picked up by a guy who sort of explains the situation that's going on in this town, where animals are just disappearing, and we don't know why. And then, I think right after that, we see the skeletons lumbering around, approaching, like, a pack of boar, and we just see them attack them, and it's not, like, bloody or anything, but the skeleton, like, bites them, and then, like, they have this green goo on them that attaches to the hog, and then, like, goes into, like, its mouth and ear and stuff, and then, like, zombifies it. It wasn't, like, brutal or anything, but it was done in a way that was really creepy. And so it was really good. Eventually, Hiro meets up with Kyoshiro, gives him the donuts, and then we get just a little bit of talk about, like, it almost felt like a reminder of, like, all right, here's Kyoshiro's character. It's like, all right, he's working at this thing. Oh, hey, here's these donuts. I used to love them when I was in America. And then we get to talk about school, where Hiro brought up that the teacher was asking about if Kyoshiro was going to go on this school trip. And then Kyoshiro gets excited. It's like, yes, of course, school trips are like a big deal in anime and manga and stuff. And it just felt like it was there to remind us what Kyoshiro's character is. Because, like, in that little brief scene, it's like, all right, he's really smart. He doesn't technically need to go to school. He graduated in America already, but, like, I don't think you're allowed to skip grades in Japan. So he's back here doing middle school. He is excited to go to school because he just wants to live like an anime school experience. And so, like, I don't really get what that scene was there for, other than to just sort of, like, remind us about Kyoshiro. Then eventually Rory goes to the inn. We see them, like, animals are getting freaked out about something, and then a little bit later on in the episode, those animals, in this case they were chickens that the inn just had, have been infected by the skeletons. And then eventually they follow the animals into the forest where all this trash had been dumped, and we get the reveal of who our Digimon of the week is, and it is Raremon. I don't remember where. I think he might have come from the Adventure remake. So this is my first time seeing him. I think his design's pretty cool. I like Raremon well enough. I don't like all the mouths and, like, eyes on Raremon are kind of weird. So it fits good with Ghost Game, where he's like a big scary monster, but not my favorite design. But anyway, we get sort of an explanation of why Raremon is zombifying animals, and then he eventually was zombifying humans, and he's, like, eating them. There's a part where, like, the zombified animals walk into this pile of trash, and, like, the green goo grabs them, and then you just see animal skeletons flying out after he eats them. So if I'm understanding this right, what happened to Raremon was he got transported to the real world, and then he got, like, crushed by trash or something, and he got, like, crushed up into, like, a bunch of pieces, and he has slowly been trying to sort of rebuild himself. But then we get, like, the Digimon realize that no, he's already pretty much rebuilt all the way. He's just gone. Like, his body's still alive, but, like, his spirit, his soul is gone. He is just feeding. He is this whole episode is about people and animals and stuff being turned into zombies, where it's like Raremon himself is the zombie. Like, all sense is just gone, and he is just here eating. And so they make the decision, like, there's no reasoning with him. He's lost. We have to just put him out of his misery. And they do. And to defeat him, they all have to do their part. He has, like, a poisonous gas that they can't get into. So, what is it? Thetismon uses one of her attacks to get rid of the gas. And then Angoromon, what is his ultimate evolution called? Lamortmon is attacking Raremon head on, trying to get him to open his mouth, which has inside it some sort of gas tank, which had been dropped into the trash pile. And then Canon Weissmon uses a attack to light it and blow Raremon up. And I was really expecting sort of, like, all right, he's dead. We'll do what we did with Bokomon, where it's like, all right, and then Blacktailmon will show up, grab his Digi-Egg, and leave. No, we don't get that at all. Raremon explodes, and we see just, like, a fire where he was. Everybody de-digivolves, and they're just watching on. And then Gamamon asks, like, what is it? Raremon went on a journey, right? Which is sort of, since the Bokomon episode, how they explain death to Gamamon, who is supposed to be like a child. And then it just ends. I think this episode was really good. Animation wasn't great. It was really, really not good. Um, but overall, I think how they dealt with Raremon and sort of having to make this decision to kill him, um, it was good. These were two really strong episodes. One thing I just remembered that I didn't bring up for episode 37, or 36, excuse me, when they were fighting Gigasmon, they get to the cave where he has made, like, the grave for humanity, and Betelgeuse at the time sees, like, mushrooms or something. I forget exactly what it was, inside the cave, and he just mentions it to Hero. He's like, Hero, this is that, right? I read it in the encyclopedia. So a few times through this show, we've seen Gamamon ask for the encyclopedia and read it, and it's actually paying off now. So anyway, that's it for this video. 2 good episodes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.